When Charlie McButton lost power.
Hi kids! Hope you will enjoy listening to the narrative poem about Charlie McButton, which is very interesting and very apt for the kids nowadays. My advice for you all is to stop playing computerized games and explore more and try out more indoor and outdoor games with your friends or with your family, and I'm sure you are going to enjoy more that way. Like in this narrative poem, which we are going to read aloud in a while, you will find out that in the beginning, Charlie wanted to play all the time the gadgets, but later on, when he played with his sister Elizabeth Jane, then he realized that those games are also very interesting. So let's read aloud the story when Charlie McButton lost power.
When Charlie McButton lost power. Written by Susan Collins. Illustrated by Mike Lester. Genre: narrative poem. In this narrative poem, author has used imagery and readers can experience the way things look, sound, smell, or feel. Question of the week is: what can we learn by trying new things? Charlie McButton had likes and like nots. The things that he liked involved handsets and boards, computerized games where he battled bad creatures. The things he liked not didn't have blow up features. Then one day, a thunderstorm blew into town and brought his tech empire tumbling down. A lightning bolt struck an electric tower, and Charlie McButton, his whole world lost power. He looked left, he looked right, and his heart filled with dread. The TV, the lights, and his clock were all dead. He jumped to his feet, his lungs gasping for air. The room spun around, and he clung to his chair. He tried to cry, help, but just managed a squeak. The blackout had blacked out his power to speak. Thank goodness his mother had ears like a bat. She came to his room and she gave him a pat. Oh, Charlie, she said, picking up on his fears, the lights will come back when the bad weather clears. You will have to find something without plugs to play. Read a book, clean your room, sing a song, model clay. Could anything be any duller than clay? Soggy grey clay on a soggy grey day? He hated the way the clay got under his nails and how he could only make snowmen and snails. He dove for a gadget he had outgrown last spring. It was handheld, outdated, not much of a thing. But he clutched the old toy like a lifeline that day. See, it ran on one battery, the size AAA. He flicked the on-off switch to on double quick, but no happy humming sound followed the click. He unlatched a hatch and his blood turned to ice. The battery is gone from my backup device. World records were set in the 10-meter dash. As away down the halfway, he flew like a flash, seeking one battery, just one AAA, that would rescue one boy from a grey day of clay. But just when his search nearly drove him insane, he ran past the bedroom of Isabel Jane. His 3 years old sister was happily walking, a doll back and forth, and the doll it was talking. Now dolls didn't talk on their own as a rule. They needed a power source, some kind of fuel. In less than a second, he had made his decision. Call it bad judgment, a real lack of vision. Somehow his head didn't warn of his folly, and Charlie McButton he pounced on that dolly. He plucked out his prize, threw the baby doll's dress, and Isabel Jane made a sound of distress. It was just a short walk to the foot of the stair where resided the McButton time out time chair. To add to the fun of his term in the seat, Isabel Jane came to play at his feet. And Isabel Jane, the battery queen, had more triple A's than he had ever seen. They powered her puppies, they powered her clocks, they powered her talkative alphabet blocks. Assaulted by non-stop mechanical chatter, Charlie McButton got madder and madder. He snapped at his sis from his time out time zone. How come you can't ever just leave me alone? Her eyes filled with tears and she gave them a rub. She went to the bathroom and hid in the tub. Then Charlie McButton felt totally rotten and couldn't help thinking some things he had forgotten. Mainly he thought that for sisters that dawdle, Isabel Jane was a pretty good model. She clearly adored him. She didn't have fleas. At dinner she would secretly eat up his peas. And sometimes, although he had most hotly denied it, he liked to just sit there beside her in quiet. Wrapped up in a blanket, watching TV, her head on his shoulder, her foot on his knee. He sat and he thought, and he started at the rain. When his time out was done, he found Isabel Jane. From the edge of the tub, she gave him a peek. So he said, "Hey, are we playing hide and go seek?" She was happy at once and ran into the hall, as she loved playing hide and go seek most of all. They took turns being it and counting to 10. They hid in the plants and the guinea pig pen. And when he found Isabel Jane in her quilt, they decided a big blanket fort should be built. Then the gloom made him think about dragons and spells, so Charlie became the great wizard McSmells. And Isabel Jane, who desired a role, magically chained to his faithful old troll. Between tracking down dragons and brewing up lizards, and handling the day-to-day business of wizards, like forging his faithful old troll a new sword, Charlie McButton forgot to be bored. At supper they ate under real candlelight. The daytime had melted right into the night, and after they had all been asleep for an hour, the world came alive with a big surge of power. "Oh, it's finally back," Charlie thought with a grin. "Tomorrow I'll wake up and I can plug in." But another thought hit him. He couldn't explain. I might also find dragons with Isabel Jane.